Using apps in the transportation sector of Saudi Arabia. Introduction. Increased development and growth due to the improvement in technology and infrastructures have been realized in all major countries worldwide. Saudi Arabia is amongst the countries experiencing the challenges faced by advanced development and growth. In addition, road networks are usually congested by traffic due to the high rates of transportation by road. The increment in population and immigration results in the congestion of passengers on the railway, bus, and airport terminals. The improvement of the relative means to limit the spread of the transport phenomenon should be established. The different roads within the Saudi Arabian cities were constructed by major and qualified contractors to deliver quality roads. There are various benefits and limitations associated with the introduction of apps to act as a solution in the transport sector in Saudi Arabia. The creation and manufacturing of vehicles depend on the value and intended usage of the car. Similarly, the purchasing power of vehicles is generally driven by the appropriate function and operation. The taxis in the Saudi Arabian transport sector have different formations and sizes. Research indicates that the taxi sector has been dominated by the population from the southern region of Asia. However, the local citizens of Saudi Arabia are currently embracing the taxi department as a source of income. Problems in transportation models. The transport sector in Saudi Arabia is broad. The citizens can make use of buses, which act as a fundamental tool in the connection between cities and countries. There are various categories of buses according to the different social classes. In addition, the costs of transportation by bus depend on the distance covered and the class level of the bus. Hiring cars is also an efficient means of transportation, which is usually common in Saudi Arabia. Hiring cars facilitates privacy and control over the time spent in particular places and decision-making. The cost of renting cars in Saudi Arabia is relatively cheap compared to other countries. Proper documentation and advanced payments are the usual qualifications that qualify an individual to hire a car. There are numerous problems related to the transport sector in Saudi Arabia. Women, children, and the poor face numerous challenges related to transportation. The population status of Saudi Arabia has relatively increased without the increase and improvement of infrastructures. The Saudi Arabian government has created various delays in the implementation of various projects. In addition, the implementation of apps to cater to the delivery of timely solutions to the transport sector has been faced with numerous challenges and limitations. Efficiency and safety in the implementation of apps in transportation. Efficiency is the key aspect that attracts and satisfies the needs of different people. The transport sector can be efficiently managed through the use of apps in the facilitation of quality transportation. Similarly, the security of customers or travelers and their belongings acts as an essential policy in the various transport sectors worldwide. Saudi Arabia has developed various apps to act as guidance and response tools to queries addressed by relevant travelers. Uber is one of the apps embraced by the government of Saudi Arabia in the enhancement of transportation between cities, towns, and internationally. The provision of Uber in the transportation industry has provided improved transportation for Saudi Arabian women. The different challenges faced due to various changes implemented in the transport sector have been limited through the use and effectiveness of Uber. The usage of Uber and the effectiveness of the ride-sharing apps have acted as efficient and safe tools of transport in the transportation of citizens to their relative destinations. Cost of using Uber as a form of sharing app and its efficiency. The costs of using transportation apps in Saudi Arabia are relatively low and efficient as compared to the previous challenges and limitations witnessed in the past. Women are the most users of the Uber sharing apps in Saudi Arabia. Similarly, the various challenges experienced in the past have been diverted with the facilitation of ready transportation cars that are used in the delivery of transport services throughout the different cities and towns. The recognition, acceptance, and usage of the apps took a very short time due to the levels of efficiency and needed for an urgent solution to facilitate effective means of transport. Advantages and disadvantages of using Uber and Lyft apps in transportation. The costs of the Uber and Lyft sharing apps have been relatively low. The facilitation of low costs of transportation in Saudi Arabia has therefore improved the economic and social status of the various citizens. The apps act as fundamental tools of growth and development due to their levels of efficiency and cost as compared to the use of taxis. The apps assist women because of the ban imposed on the ability of women in driving. The challenges faced by the government and other external organizations on the implementation of the apps have affected the facilitation of apps. Conclusion. The population status of Saudi Arabia has relatively increased without the increase and improvement of infrastructures. The Saudi Arabian government has created various delays in the implementation of various projects. Saudi Arabia has developed various apps to act as guidance and response tools to queries addressed by relevant travelers. The apps act as fundamental tools of growth and development due to their levels of efficiency and cost as compared to the use of taxis and other forms of transportation.